So, I need a new battery charger. So I got the SkyRC Q200. Okay, so up until recently, I've been charging my LiPos for my drones with either my original Phantom charger, which can charge from a 1 cell to a 4 cell, and my trusty B6. This is an authentic one, but seems to have stopped working, and this could charge from a 2 cell to a 6 cell. So I'm slowly starting to get a bit more time, but I think I'm about to fly the drones again. So I need to charge those LiPos, and I'm often frustrated by the fact that I can only really charge 1 or 2 at a time, especially based on the different battery sizes. So I decided to have a splurge, and I've picked up this. It's the SkyRC Q200. This is a fantastic charger. You can charge up to 4 batteries at once, and they can be of different types, so not just LiPo, it can be different type of battery, and it also has built-in Bluetooth, which means you can control and monitor things from your phone as well. So if you've got it in your charging station, perhaps in the garage, and you kind of just step out for a little bit, obviously you want to monitor what's happening with those batteries, so you can do it from the comfort of your phone. So let's unbox this. Let's talk a little bit about the features. First of all, this isn't a sponsored ad or anything, but I did get this from Hobby RC in the UK. I think they're a great company. I bought a few things from them, so I just thought I'd mention that. And when you buy from them, you also get a free sweetie. Who doesn't love a free sweetie? So yeah, this is it. The SkyRC Q200. So it has a colour screen, as I mentioned before, 4-channel charging. It's also got built-in power supply. So lots of these batteries, you need to provide your own kind of DC power. You can still do that, but this comes with a built-in power supply, and that also allows you to vary the power that's going to each of the charging points. So for example, you could put 60 watts to one, and then 40 watts would automatically be diverted to another one, or again you could put 20 watts to one and then 20 watts would go to the other one, etc, etc. It's got built-in cooling fans, so hopefully things don't get too hot. As I mentioned, it has got Bluetooth version 4 in it, but there's also a USB slot on there, which enables you to connect it to your PC, and you can download some software so you can manage and configure things on the go. And there's also a USB charging port on the front, so you could charge your phone or your controller or whatever it is that you might need to charge at the same time. So I'm just going to clear up some space. Let's get this unboxed, and I'll show you basically how things go together. Okay, so we've got some batteries at different sizes that we're going to try out with the charging, and like I said, I've been using this now for about a week, but I thought I'd put it back in the packaging so you guys can see what it is like, what you get included. So as I mentioned before, you can charge up to 4 different types of battery: LiPo, LiHV, LiFeed, Li-on, NIMH, NiCad, and PB. Inside you get pretty much everything that you're going to need. You can do charging, you can do discharging, you can also check battery voltage, etc. So this is awesome. Okay, so inside you've got a balance board for each of the ports. So specifically when you're charging with LiPo batteries, really you want to balance the cells. It's always good practice. We have 1, 2, 3 and 4 charging leads with XT60 connectors on. I love it when you have this kind of positive and negative block, which means it's difficult for you to accidentally knock those two together. Because I'm in the UK, we have a 3-pin plug, and you'll notice this is a proper legitimate 3-pin plug, not some Euro adapter. So this one was sourced and provided in the UK. And then, which I think is quite nice, a couple of extra banana plugs with ready to solder ends. So perhaps you have a Dings connector or some other type that you don't want to use with this charger, so that enables you to do that without any worry. We'll leave that in the box because we're not going to be using those. There is a pretty basic and simple manual involved as well, so you can obviously read through that or download it off the internet. It's fairly straightforward, just takes you through how to charge the different battery types, and also talks about how you can self-calibrate the voltage on this. So it is calibrated out of the factory, but if you've got different tools at home and you think that your calibration may be better, then of course you can go ahead and recalibrate things. And the other thing it talks about is just how to utilize and charge the different battery types and utilize the different functions on here. So I've left the stickers on pretty much just for this video, to be honest, so that you can see exactly what it looks like. Just a reminder that you should never leave batteries charging unsupervised. And also my recommendation is either use one little fire safe boxes or fire safe bags, so if the unfortunate does happen, you can keep things under control. So we will remove that now. Okay, so on the back, as I mentioned before, you have your DC power input. Again, that's through an XT60 connector. We're just going to use the AC power, so we have the Mickey Mouse plug on there, on-off switch. On the front we have, this is one thing that is a little bit kind of odd actually, we go through it as we set things up. So we have the C and D ports. Here is the PC link cable, so that's micro USB, and then the USB for charging. It doesn't come with any of those cables. There's also a thermometer connection on here, so again that's an additional product, so if you want to monitor temperature and have things shut off at a certain period of temperature, you can do that. You can also set off timeouts as well, so certain usage it will turn off after 120 minutes, etc. So these are the balance ports leads. Then on the side here, again, this is port A. You can see the cooling fans, and pretty much the same on the side there. So the thing that's odd about this, and you'll see when we turn it on, is kind of how these things align. So A is up here, B is here, even though it's over this side. So you've got A, B, C, D, as opposed to A, B, C, D. So it's all labelled, just need to keep that in mind when you're doing things. So we'll get this plugged in, and then we will take a look at what this charger looks like when you're utilising it, and when you're charging the batteries, and give a quick demonstration of how we're going to charge a 4-cell, a 3-cell, a 2-cell, and a 1-cell. So a good variety, just to give you a quick overview of what it looks like, and also hear kind of how noisy it is with the fans, and decide if you want to splurge on some of this. So as I mentioned I think at the beginning, this is a pretty expensive charger really. I think I got it for around £150, which is a lot of money for a charger, but really when you look at it, if you were going to buy 4 chargers, it's pretty much close to that. And there's lots of good talk about these particular chargers on the forums. There is a 2-channel charger, which is a D100, and there's just been a new version of that released, which is the V2. I recommend you keep an eye out for that one, because it has the same features as the original D100, except that it now also has Bluetooth. So again, you can use the Bluetooth app on your phone to see kind of how things are working. Okay, so here we go. Powering it on is simple with the switch at the back. When you first turn it on, you get again another reminder to tell you not to use the device unsupervised. As you can hear, there's a very slight fan noise, don't different to a laptop really. So you press enter and we get into different options. So you can see we have the A, B, C and D options, enabling us to select and charge the different battery types. So we'll just go through this now, and as I mentioned before, you can either do this manually on the device here, or you can use the app on the phone. Also, if you're regularly charging similar battery types, you can actually store battery type memory to enable you to get to the charging much quicker. It has 10 different memory settings that you can do across the different battery types, so plenty of options to do this really well. So if you're new to recharging batteries, kind of the first things to note, as I mentioned before, so if you're charging LiPos, particularly, you always want to try and make sure you can do a balanced charge, so you can balance those cells out and really get the best performance out of the battery. Also, when connecting the battery up, you should always connect this cable to the charger first and then connect the battery after, and the same when the charger's finished, disconnect the battery first before you decide to unplug these. Just good practice. So we'll put the balance board in first, and again the process is the same regardless of what side you're doing. Let's get that in straight, put those banana leads in. Okay, and then we're good to go. So the first one we'll look at in port A is this 4-cell battery. This is what I use on my TBS Discoveries. One thing you might notice if you haven't seen this before, I have these little stick-on battery indicators. So when they're charged up and I put them in the bag or in the box, I move it to green so I know they're charged. And as soon as I put them into one of the drones, I switched it to uncharged, so I know that I won't get confused and I know to charge these up. And so I leave this like that until the charging is finished, and I move it back to green and put it in the bag. As I said, normally I would use a charging bag. For this demonstration, I'm just going to leave them not in charging bags as I set this up for you. So here we go. 4-cell goes into the 4-cell section here. Connect this up. So I'm doing this upside down, so this is a little bit tricky. So again, LiPo battery confirmed. Now we can see that right now it's doing a 2 amp charge, 7.4 volts, and that's for a 2-cell. So we need to look at changing that configuration. We can also change the type of charge that's going to happen. So you can see here, balanced charge is always by default. We can just do a basic LiPo charge if you don't have a balance lead. Fast charging, storage, so if you're going to store the battery, so typically a lot of these batteries will come like this in a stored format, so slightly reduced level of charge, which means it's safe to go on the plane, etc. And discharge if you're not going to be using them for a prolonged period of time. So we want a LiPo balanced charge. Again, we can change the ampage. These particular ones, I can't remember what this is for the 4500 milliamp. 2 is fine anyway. So we'll leave it at that. And now obviously we need to change it from a 2-cell to a 4-cell. Once that's all completed, press and hold. There's a battery check. It confirms it sees 4 cells. Press enter and it starts to go. So the thing I also like about this is you have this little battery level, so you can see how much or how full the battery is already. So already we can see this battery was at 98%, so it isn't going to take too long to charge. We can check the status here, so you can see the different states of each of the cells. So again, it's 4 cells, we've got 4.15, 4.20, 4.19 and 4.19. So it's not quite balanced, so it's going to take a bit of time basically to balance those and finish things off. Also shows you again how much charge is in there, so it's 99% right now. It's a 4.18 volt cell configuration. And again, back to the charge rate currently. So we'll leave that going. Now we will connect a second one. We will do this on charge port B. So So this is on the opposite side now. Just put the balance connector in first. Like I say, I just love how intuitive and basically just how simple it is. So if you've used a charger before, obviously this is super easy, but even if you haven't, everything is just so straightforward. So sometimes if you're new to the hobby, charging the battery, etc., can be a little bit intimidating. You really don't have to worry about any of that with this type of charger. So again, this is a 3-cell. Certainly out of a Phantom. This one should be pretty well charged anyway, so it's probably just going to do some balancing. Connect that one up. Okie dokie. So let's just change down to port B now. So same process again. Press enter. We're going to do a balanced charge. That's fine. 2 amp again is fine for this. This is a 3-cell, so 11.5 volts. Okay, press and hold. Just checking. Again, it confirms it's a 3-cell, and it starts things off. So again, same as before, it's already 98%. What I like, again, if you can see on the screen here, you can vary what's being displayed for each of the ports. So it's not just that you're kind of tied into only one thing. You can change the status of what you want to view on each of them. This one's already pretty well balanced, 4.18 volts per port. Get these last two plugged in and check things out. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's not cheap, but I love the fact that I can charge 4 different battery types at different sizes at once, whether it be from the drones or the cars. Everything I need to do can be done right here. I love how easy to use and intuitive the charger is itself. It's got loads more capability than we've covered here for the different battery types and how you can set voltage, distribute power, set those timers, etc. I love how with the app I can see all the same things that I'm seeing here on the colour display. And it just makes you feel more confident charging batteries, because you know, when you're dealing with lipos, sometimes things can get a bit unstable and you have to kind of be careful. And so I just feel always a little bit more reassured when using a quality product. So I hope this was helpful. If you're thinking about splurging on a battery charger, I definitely recommend you check out the SkyRC Q200. If you're looking for something a bit cheaper, around the £76 mark, check out that D100. And if you're for some reason only looking for just that single charger, they have one as well. It's around £30. So check it out. I love it. And just the other thing to keep in mind, there you go, one of them is finished, is that some of these other chargers don't have AC. So in addition to the cost, you're having to provide a DC power source as well. So if you've been charging batteries for a while, you may have one already. If not, that's something to factor in. So yeah, the SkyRC Q200. 2 thumbs up from me. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.